Welcome back to Cell Guru. As promised, it is now the turn of the iPhone 6. Isn't this truly the way I promised, a headline-making show every which way? I've teased you all through the show. Now we're going to get started with it. So I'm going to give you my first impression. Like I said, it's just been unboxed. So it's thinner than I actually thought. As always, it has typical Apple craftsmanship, very well put together. Is it apparent that the screen has a better resolution? Not really. It seems just the same. But Bharat is with me, who of course got this phone in. So you've also unboxed and spent a few hours with it right now.
Right.
Okay. First impressions.
I mean, it feels like it's lighter. The build quality is definitely better than previous generations, although it is...
Is that why it bends?
It bends because it's lighter. I feel that they've used lesser thickness in terms of the material that they've used to make it thinner and lighter.
Right.
It feels nimble. I mean, it feels robust yet nimble, so that's why it's possible.
How's the grip in the hand? I mean, with all the other things people are starting to talk about, that, you know, it's not surviving too many crash tests well, and it bends and everything else. In my hand, I'm gripping it much harder than I ever would grip a normal mobile phone.
Right. So if I compare it to, say, the previous generation one, which had edgier edges, I guess, sharper edges.
You're never at a loss of words, for sure. Right? Edgier edges.
Edgier edges. Sharper edges. So it was slightly pinchy in the hand. You would put it in your hand, and the grip was, you always liked it better in a case. I feel this goes back to the original first gen, which felt good in the hand without a case.
So you're basically saying what a lot of people have also said, looks almost like the first iPhone, but
most definitely.
So we've gone back like 5 or 6 years, is
we
that what you're saying? Few things that you thought are absolutely amazing, 1 or 2 disappointments straight away.
I guess the biggest disappointment has to be the resolution of the display, because, I mean, I know that it looks perfectly fine to the eye. It looks exactly like the previous generation did, with a larger size, obviously, because it's the same sort of pixel density.
Almost the same, correct.
It is exactly the same. So that is one thing that I feel could have been bumped up, just because they could have. I mean, more than anything else. One thing that I really like is the rounded edges. They feel really natural when you're, I mean, I'm talking about the display. So when the display curves at the edges.
Yes.
So when you swipe from left to right, that feels much more natural.
Okay.
I feel that looks great. And the sheer size of the display, when I constantly use a 5S. So after that, going to this definitely is the biggest improvement, according to me.
Okay. Some of the biggest disappointments that people have is that if the form factor has been changed, what else?
Disappointments have mostly been, why is there less RAM, why hasn't the camera been updated, why hasn't the display been upgraded, why isn't the battery life much more than what we expect it to be. I think those are the biggest disappointments that people have with the device, more or less, that Apple could have really bumped up the specs. They could have come out with something more innovative than just a bigger size and a
I keep constantly using this one word. Until now, any iPhone 6 or 6 Plus user has not been able to give me an answer. Let's say if you can do it. What's the Apple-esque feature in it? I mean,
honestly, it's like they pulled a 5S, they pulled an S with the 6. They've given an incremental upgrade where they have given you a larger screen. I mean, they've changed the design, yet they've mostly kept it the same. So there is no innovative.
So it's 5S with more curves and a slightly bigger screen. Is that a good way to put it?
Yes.
Which means now I'm putting you truly on the hot seat. An iPhone 5S user, should he be buying it?
Well, an iPhone 5S user can actually not go for this unless he wants a bigger screen. For me, the big screen is the sweet spot, because I feel the 5.5 inch is slightly bigger than comfortable, and this is perfect. Like the minute I held it in my hand, I was like, this was the screen size I was looking for.
That you were looking for, right? So there you have it. Remember, first impression only. This is just an unboxing that we've done because it's the first one that anybody's held really in the country, of course, courtesy Bharat. Should you be buying one? What's the detailed review? What are the overall cool things? What are the big disappointments in detail in the following weeks? Right now, we'll take a quick first impression review of the phone.
9th September 2014. The 2 new iPhones, the 6 and the 6 Plus, get announced. 19th September 2014. Apple releases the iPhone 6 and the 6 Plus in a few countries. And just a few days later, the iPhone 6 landed in the hands of the Cell Guru team, and that too, a golden one. We played around with the brand new shiny iPhone 6 for a while. Only after holding it did we realize how exceptionally light it is. Weighing 129 grams, it feels really light and sometimes even fragile. A product that truly needs to be handled with care. With the form factor, Apple has gone back to the first gen iPhone, but has made it even slimmer. At 6.9mm, it's almost slim enough to cut and slice vegetables. We wouldn't recommend doing that, but in a pinch, it could actually work. It has a 4.7-inch screen with a 750 by 1334 pixel resolution and a 326 ppi. If you compare this to the full HDs and the 2K screens on rival Android phones, this may seem abysmally low. But if you consider this independently or in comparison to the previous iPhones, it is pretty good. Still, the display is one of the biggest disappointments on this phone. It also has a shatterproof glass, but that's something we didn't want to experiment with, considering the number of drop test disaster videos all over the net. The camera at the back is 8 megapixels. It has the next generation iSight camera with better focus. It also has digital image stabilization. Though the camera on the phone protrudes out, we found that to be a very strange decision. This can lead to the lens getting scratched on a hard surface. The front camera is 1.2 megapixel and has a bigger sensor for better FaceTime experience. Even the front camera has the burst mode, which is a nifty add-on. Apple goes for a powerhouse performance in terms of processors and chipsets. The new A8 chipset is 50% more efficient and 25% faster than the A7. The graphic engine is faster as well, and the N8 processor is more efficient. At the time of the launch, Apple took pride in the new reachability feature of the iPhone 6. Since this is a slightly larger screen, reachability is a new feature added on it. Double tap the home button and all the icons shift to the lower half of the screen. This is for better and easy accessibility for two-handed and thumb operations. Then there are some other tweaks. As soon as you get a message notification, it appears at the top and you can directly reply to it from the home screen. There's also an option to convert the phone display to grayscale, perhaps to prolong the very precious battery of the phone. The two new iPhones are likely to be available in India next month. The starting price of the 16GB iPhone 6 may be around 53,000 rupees. So those were our first impressions of the new iPhone 6. Not a revolutionary change, but some tweaks seem to be useful add-ons. But then, what's Apple without a little controversy? The new iPhones also have their share of controversy building up. Tech blog Unbox Therapy tried to bend the new, taller and thinner iPhone 6 Plus. And well, they succeeded. Unfortunately, just because you can bend it out of shape does not mean that you can bend it back into shape. And some people found that the iPhone 6 Plus was getting bent right in their pockets, especially tight jeans and front pockets. From hardware to software now, Apple released the iOS 8.0.1 OS update, and that disables cell phone services and the Touch ID capabilities on the new iPhones. Apple quickly withdrew the update. But well, that's a regular Apple start. Bad publicity but skyrocketing sales. We will have a detailed hands-on review of the iPhone 6 and 6 Plus soon on Cell Guru.